So with Bollywood, the thing is that it's the a picture of a perfect man and a perfect woman and a perfect love story, and everything is okay at the end. It's still that's very relevant even today. So a gay hero would not sit well with the public.
Okay. Would that be like a side character
So
or the villain?
No, a gay villain is an oxymoron in the Indian film industry.
Yeah, I
that
can't-
will not work.
Well, James Bond, the villain was gay, I think, right?
Yeah. Which one?
Not Skyfall.
Javier Bardem was he?
Yeah.
Wasn't he gay?
Where he's like, he touches like James Bond in his legs and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Right, now you remember that scene?
Yeah, of course I do. He was so good.
Yeah, that really creeped me out. I remember
yeah.
it going like,
But that will never happen in India. Never ever.
you don't think so? Give it time?
No. I mean, I'm willing to give it time. I don't care really. I mean, I've been a lesbian on screen, so it really doesn't.
So you've also even played a gay character.
I have, but then I'm talking about the typical Bollywood industry, like the kind of movies that we shell out, maximum that we shell out. They would not be acceptable with a. But then, we did have a film, Badhai Do, in which the lead. They were both gay and they still got married to each other just to live the kind of lives they wanted to live, to escape from family. And they said, okay, this is our arrangement. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. But just for the sake of our family, they're like, get married. So
Yeah, Arabs do that as well, where like the wife is like a lesbian and the husband is gay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It happens like in all these communities.
Oh my God.
Happens even in China.
Wow. I think it
Yeah.
happens in every community. Depends on which section of community.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like...
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep face, right? And you have to like make sure that you're presentable, and you don't want
Presentable.
you don't want like
Such a subjective thing.
No, come on. I mean, you don't want like your son to show up with like a dude who's like completely pierced at like family events.
Yeah. Showing up with a dude is okay, but completely pierced head to toe and got tattoos all over. I don't know. I would be a little... Obviously, I would be happy if he's happy at the end of the day. But then I would be a little like, okay, could you not find somebody else? And the thing is with my industry, especially because I came from fashion, I was a model for a very long time. I've got so many gay friends and I love them to bits. It's like the best of both worlds. You get to hang with them, gossip with them, and they're not hitting on you. So I love it. And then, my parents still don't get it.
Wait. Don't the girls hit on you? I'm sure there must be like lesbian
They do,
girls.
but I don't have a lot of lesbian friends. I have more gay friends.
In the fashion world, there must be lesbians, no?
No, not so much. In the fashion world, they're mostly gays.
Okay.
I haven't really met a lot of lesbians, honestly.
Do you think they just don't like talk about it? Or maybe they're just bi or something like that?
Yeah, I think they're mostly bi. I personally think that in India, there is still a... Because, India is a patriarchal society. So the fact that the LGBTQ rights are even relevant today is all right. But then those rights to be available to the women is a step ahead for our society. So it's getting there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
So-
you understand what I mean?
Yeah, so it's easier for a guy to be gay than for a girl to be a lesbian.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
It is. Although with gay men, sometimes it's very in your face, it's very flamboyant. So that's also a little difficult to accept for the society.
Yeah.
But I think it's the maximum judgment is for the women who are lesbian. I mean, I feel that and I see that and the people that I meet, I see that I don't see a lot of them.
I mean, I in London, I rented an apartment when I was studying there. And my neighbor was gay and he was Arab, and I was like, well, whatever. And I'd stop over and have like coffee with him in the morning and a cigarette, as you do. And then one night I'm hearing like, I walk past and I just hear like,
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I just like close my eyes and I just go to like,
you heard a guy?
and just like immediately go through. And then I saw him the next morning and having coffee, and I was like, dude, you're a little bit loud. We can hear you in the corridor.
Oh my God.
Like, you need to tell your boyfriend to like, just like bring it down a notch. And he looked at me and was like, my boyfriend? And I went, yeah, you the dude, your boyfriend. He goes, oh no, that wasn't my boyfriend.
He was in denial?
No, it was like he was just having sex with a different dude. So he was cheating on his boyfriend.
Oh no!
So
I thought maybe he didn't want you to know or something.
no, he was just like, yeah, we're very like in an open relationship. And I was like, too much information.
I know. Wow.
I had that coffee in silence while he kept on telling me about it.
Oh,
I was
no.
like,
Poor guy, yeah.
I don't know about poor guy. I mean,
No, I mean to be in that situation, kind of awkward that, dude, you're too loud with whom you're cheating.
yeah. I mean, well, at least they're having fun. Good for him.
Yeah. As long as people are having fun, it's all good. But there's so much shit going around anyway, so you need to have fun and just relax.
Well, that's what was going to get into my next question: is how do you get into a role? Do you do like method acting and then try to live out that character?
So I don't do method acting at all. I don't actually understand it. I know a lot of actors do it. My friends do it, but so what I do is that I'm a very receptive person. So I really empathize with people around me. Sometimes it's not good for me, but I tend to empathize more than I should. But that really helps me with my acting.
Okay.
So I empathize with the character. I imagine myself to be in the character's shoes, and I let the emotion come very naturally. So sometimes what happens is that it is not the emotion that is required in regular acting. That when you're required to cry, for instance, in a scene, and you don't end up crying because you feel like you don't need to. I think that's the kind of acting that's the best sorts, because it's all from the heart and it's not really just the projection. And people can see it. Viewers, especially the kind of viewers who watch my kind of films, are smart viewers. So they wouldn't believe you just because you're crying or you're angry. They would believe you that maybe you've got a twitch in your eye that shows that anger that you're feeling inside.
Do you really think viewers are that like perceptive?
Yeah, they are. Because, with, for instance, my film Gehraiyan that I did, I had if you look at it, I had like a 8-minute role. But then it was received so well. I got a call from Rajat Kapoor, who's a celebrated actor in the industry. He made award-winning, national award-winning films. So he called me especially. He said that, Pavleen, you made the character real.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, and coming from him, it was great. And I didn't cry at all in the film, although I was suicidal, like suicide and everything. But I didn't feel the need. I mean, why? I was too depressed to cry. Sometimes you're too depressed to cry. And you just rather keep your emotions, keep on feeling them. Because with depression is that over a period of time, you get accustomed to that feeling, that zone.
Numbness, I imagine.
Numbness. And you don't want to let it go. And sometimes if you cry, you let it go.
Okay.
So you won't see depression patients often cry. It's mostly just a silent zone where they are in those feelings and they just want to be there. So that's why they say that with the people suffering from mental illnesses, it's very important the kind of people that are around them.
Yeah. No. I remember reading a study about Vietnam where so American soldiers were given heroin during Vietnam to put them through the crisis, and because Vietnam at the time was a horrible place to be in, and most of the soldiers coming back that had healthy families in the sense of like fathers and mothers and community to take care of, didn't go back onto the stuff. And only the soldiers that came back that didn't have a support system for them ended up just going down that route and just taking dope or heroin or whatever till they died.
Yeah.
It's really impressive how important community is to it. I remember just recently, I don't remember who the author is. I was reading in American Scientific an article by Dr. Johans something. I'll put it in the comments section, or somebody else will remind me of it. And basically what he states is that adults today have the same level of anxiety as psych ward patients in 1950.
Really?
Yeah. And that's because there's no more community. At least that was his theorization, is that generally an adult doesn't have more than one friend.
In this day and age.
In this day and age. If you think about it, most kids who are like, let's say between 16 and let's say 20, they spend most of their time either on PlayStation or Xbox.
Exactly.
So they don't like go out and actually
meet people
or play football or cricket or whatever they do.
Yeah.
So
It's the reality. I feel like that's where we really, I mean, that's why the parents really need to step in and prolong the exposure to the screen for as long as, take it away for as long as possible, because eventually the kids are going to succumb to it. So you can't really do much. And with, like I said, with mental illnesses, you can only take so much medication, but it's really about what's around you, the positivity that's around you. So yeah. So with my character, I do the same thing. I try to be empathetic. I try to be the support system of the character. So it really,
that must be really tough.
well, it's tough for those moments because, like I said, I don't pre-prepare. It's mostly, I pre-prepare like maybe like an hour before the shot, but I don't get into that zone like most of the actors do. For example, in My Left Foot, the actor, he completely changed his whole persona for like months onwards. And with Joaquin Phoenix, the Joker, he completely changed himself for months while he was shooting. I don't know if I can do that, but then of course that's Elite. You would do anything for Elite.
I guess. But then, I mean, you have like Will Smith, right? Who doesn't really change himself. What is the other guy from Mission Impossible? Tom Cruise.
But then you have to look at the kind of films also these people are doing.
They're also in a secret society, right? I
don't know about that.
Yeah, they're all with that like religion thing.
Illuminati.
No, they're all with like Scientology.
Is Will Smith also Scientology?
Yeah, he came out like and said like, yeah, he's a big believer.
It before or after the punch?
Before. Now like it wasn't a punch, it was a slap because he wasn't mad enough to punch.
That was hilarious. That was so funny. I can't believe that happened.
That's mental. Do you think something like that would ever happen in a Bollywood award show?
Not at all.
Not at all.
People are so concerned about what other people think. They give other people more importance than they give themselves. They would not let that happen.
I think Will Smith ruined his career doing that.
He really did. And he's incredible.
Is he though?
I mean, I love him. I mean, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Name me 4 movies that you like from him.
I Am Legend. I loved it. Listen, I am very corny like that. If I like an actor, then I...
Fine.
Okay.
Wild Wild West?
No. No way.
You know he turned down that role? He turned down The Matrix to do that role.
He was offered The Matrix?
Yeah.
What was he offered in The Matrix?
Neo.
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, Keanu Reeves was the backup.
No way.
Yeah. True story.
That was such a stupid decision.
He thought that the Wild Wild West would work better.
Are you serious?
Okay, so we've got
King
Legend.
Richard?
King Richard, okay. Starting already.
Wait. What's that one with the
I'm not gonna help.
No, with Margot Robbie.
Dan?
Which one?
No, it's...
Hannah?
I think it's called
Focus. And one more. Listen, I love him from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's my Will Smith.
How about Men in Black?
Yeah, 1 and 2. Yes. Was there a 3?
Yes, there was a 3, but without No, there was 4.
There were 4?
Yeah, the 4th one doesn't have Will Smith.
Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There you have it.
The fourth one has the guy from Thor, Chris Hemsworth. That's his name. Yeah.
Really? I haven't ever. Is there a 4? Okay, I'll have to check it out.
It's not good.
I'm sure it's not. How can you make so many sequels? Only the first one is the best.
But isn't this how like movies are made now? Like in Hollywood and the West, it's just become like taking
only in Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly. You take the IP that's already existing, and then you just take it to hell. You just go and go till there's nothing left.
I'm sorry to say, I'm just done with the Avengers and the Spider-Man and the Batman. Can we just stick to the originals? I like the originals and the classics. But then all these sequels, I mean, are you a Marvel fan?
No.
Okay. So I do enjoy action films, but I would rather, I don't know, see, what's that DiCaprio Oscar-winning Revenant?
Revenant. Is it Revenant? Isn't it Once Upon a Time?
No.
It's Revenant?
Yes.
So that's not really action, but I rather watch that kind of action than,
Okay.
grown men in
Tights?
leotards and flying around and not my thing.
Well, I mean, I hear where you're coming from. I find it weird that 8 out of the 10 box office success were owned by Disney, and all of them being IPs based on superheroes.
Really? Is that so?
Yep. Disney's killing it
Very
at the
sad.
moment. Killing it.
I mean, it's great. It's kudos to them, but it's not really quality cinema.
Well, would you like to see a drama piece with like some superhero girl, but like just like it's a very intimate drama?
Not at all. There should not be any superheroes in any drama.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
No. So there was this Mrs. Marvel, or what was it?
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
recent
yeah.
Netflix, where
yeah.
they tried to create like this alternate South Asian community and a superhero girl emerging out of it. And they had their dramatic bits in it. But no.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah. Either drama has to be relatable, real life drama. When you put a superhero in it, it's not real life.
Well, look at this then. Dan, can you type in She-Hulk?
She-Hulk, yes.
With her, she did like something with, what was it? Like, didn't she like use her butt for something?
What?
Twerking, yeah, that's the word.
Oh,
Shows you how
yes,
old I am.
remember that.
I couldn't even remember the word twerking.
I can't watch.
Have you seen it?
I have seen it. I've seen it in the trailer, I think.
I think Dan is taking a little time.
That's
Are you a robot, Dan? Figure it out.
No, it's because we live for She-Hulk.
Goes like, are you sure you want to see that? Are you sure you're not a robot? Are you sure?
Why would you want to see that?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not worth it.
It's a weird thing to like have like the whole idea behind it, right? Is to have this like empowered female and then have like a scene dedicated to twerking.
Oh
That seems like a very mixed
God.
message. You have to turn down the audio.
Yeah, I've got to see it again.
That's uncanny valley. That does not look natural in any like
Not
way.
at all. How can you?
Doesn't this look like CGI from like the early 2000s?
Yeah. It's really badly done also.
This is me. I feel like this would be me. Just very confused,
Oh my God.
no care, being like whatever.
This is so sad.
It would cost too much money to have her hand touch the butt, so that's why they added like.
That's above budget.
That's above budget. They cost too much money.
Oh God. This is so bad. What kind of content is being made these days?
Well, do you think Bollywood is ever going to get there?
I hope not.
Well, you guys had like Spider-Man.
CGI, yes.
No, you had like Spider-Man IP. You had like.
Which one?
Yeah, type in Indian Spider-Man, and then you had like an Indian Superman as well. At
Are you
one
talking
point.
about some Bihari guy playing Superman or something?
No, it was a full movie. Dan, type it in.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, you'll see
Indian
it.
Spider-Man? I'm sure it was the dubbed version.
No. You'll see. It came out in the 80s.
He was actually my favorite actor.
See?
What? Who?
Your VPN on? That's why.
Yeah, maybe turn off the VPN and see if that works.
He was like this very funny guy.
Indian Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Is it Shaktiman?
No.
Acha.
It's what was from the 80s. It was a different era.
Yeah, it's one of those old movies.
It
Yeah.
must be Shaktiman.
No, it's not. They had the whole Spider-Man suit on.
I mean, I'm surprised. We're
Listen, I'm 80s. I don't remember this.
well, maybe you don't remember bad movies for a reason, right?
I grew up on good content.
There you go.
Yes.
See? So, which is your all-time favorite movie?
So my all-time favorite movie is actually very corny.
Let's hear it.
So my all-time favorite
Die Hard.
Indian?
Whatever you like.
Braveheart, no. So Indian has to be Hum Aapke Hain Kaun. I mean, he would know.
Okay.
It's a very typical family-oriented, like 15 people living in the house, wedding happening. So it's very typical. It's by this guy called Suraj Barjatia. He's an Indian director who makes very family-oriented films. So that's my favorite film. Internationally, my favorite film has to be Cocoon. It's a really old 80s film.
Cocoon.
Yes. So, because I've watched it so many times, that is the only film I remember very clearly.
Was that because that was the only movie available in the house?
No, of course not. We had cable, we had all the movies access, but it was just, at that time, I remember it the clearest. But if I analyze my favorite film,
You have to type in movie, Dan.
has to be,
While you're thinking about it, we're going to look at some images.
yeah.
No. Indian Spider-Man 80s.
I don't think there is. Though.
There is. I'm going to go crazy.
So I have a couple of films that I like.
There we go.
Listen, that is just a song.
No, isn't it a movie? It is a full movie.
No, that's just a song. I think it's a Govinda song.
Well,
Cannot be Internet Stranger Superhero song. It's a song.
I am very upset now. I'm heartbroken.
You can't make more fun of the Bollywood industry.
Fine, type in Italian Spider-Man.
There's an Italian side.
Of course, you know how powerful that IP is.
Oh no.
Yeah, they've got to make money.
Every country has a Spider-Man.
Absolutely,
Their own version.
absolutely. I like Italian Spider-Man a lot. This is a full
Look
movie.
at this guy.
I like to think if I had hair, I would be that handsome. Take the picture with a cigarette.
Why does he have to be paunchy? And why does he have to look like that?
Italian Spider-Man.
My gosh.
It's amazing.
There's a Lego
Yeah.
doll on him, and there are comic books.
He's
Wow, this guy's a legend.
telling you. I'll send you over the YouTube link for the movie. You can check it out and tell me what you think of it.
Sure.
Italian noir movies. Branch out. See what else is available.
Oh Lord, this is so long. They should just stop with the Spider-Man bit. But then, on another note, if I was ever offered, obviously, an Avenger movie, I would run to it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I
of
mean,
course,
there's
for
good
an
money in
actor.
it.
It's-
Yeah. I mean,
No, more than that, it's great for your folio. It's like you're part of the Avengers. What more could you want? So, like Ali Fazal, who's actually one of the few actors who has transcended into the international film industry from India. So he was recently in this film called Death on the Nile with Gal Gadot. And it was a crappy role. It was a crappy film. But then people knew that, okay, he's done a film like that. So it's in Bollywood, it's a lot also like that. That Hollywood fascination is very relevant.
well, I can understand that. I mean, because Hollywood is such a multi-billion-dollar
Yeah,
industry,
yeah.
right? I mean, why wouldn't you copy that like mechanisms, right? And I mean, Bollywood is fascinating because of how it has connections to a lot of the Eastern Bloc of the world, especially Russia. During the USSR, movies weren't allowed from the US to be imported into Russia.
Oh, acha.
But you had Bollywood movies being imported. And can you type in Disco Dancer? Russia?
Oh, yeah, the Mithun film.
Yeah. So there's a Russian version as well.
See, we also, because
They're the second one.
India is a developing nation. It's not a developed nation. We have to maintain ties with all the countries. Even today, with our Prime Minister, he has good relations with everybody. Even with Russia, with all that rubbish going on with Ukraine, he cannot afford to.
Alienate
Yeah.
the world. You can just put that in the background. Doesn't matter. Is the audio okay? Is the camera okay, guys? You sure? Everything good? Akash? Sorry, I like to double check every few minutes.
That's all right. So with the thing with India is that we are not a developed nation. US can afford to call the shots.
Well, you have a bigger GDP now than
We do.
than
What
England.
the hell is that?
Telling you. This is the Russian version.
Oh my! What is? Can you increase the volume?
Put it up, Danny.
That's
Yeah.
a Russian guy?
Yeah. You have to the video is muted. You have to unmute the video, Dan. If you're an audio listener right now, we're watching I Am a Disco Dancer in Russian. Zoom in on that crotch. Why not?
How long ago was this?
How long ago? This was like 2017, 18.
Wow.
So yeah.
But that's quite a compliment, huh?
Well, I agree. Bollywood has a bigger impact in the West than people give it credit to.
Absolutely. I mean, we made fun of, but still people listen to us.
Really? Who makes fun of
watching.
Bollywood?
The song and dance sequence is still very funny now also.
What? The West started it in the 1940s.
Yeah, but then they ended it very early also.
That's not true. Wasn't there?
Name me a musical apart from the last one was this, the one with...
Grease.
No, not Grease. That was the last one actually. The one that won the Academy Award. Yeah. Which one was it? The two actors.
What did you say, Dan? You had the name.
La
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 Land.
Land.
Yeah, that was the only decent musical. I don't know about Grease. I haven't seen it.
You have never seen Grease?
No, not the new one. I've seen the old one.
Oh, okay. I was about to be like
Yeah,
shocked.
no.
Footloose?
Of course.
I'm struggling now.
Musicals. Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Sound of Music.
Who did Singing in the Rain? What film was that called again? I just recently watched it.
Singing in the Rain. No, I'm not aware of that.
Dan, can you type it in? And then there's Booze as well. Frank Sinatra did a few movies back in the day.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you never seen it?
I have seen Cliff Richard's movies, but I haven't seen Frank Sinatra's.
What's the movie called? Scroll down. It should be
Oh, this is super old. Like I wouldn't.
1952. It's not that old.
I mean, I haven't watched a lot of classics in English cinema. I've done Hindi cinema. That what brings me to I was thinking about one of my favorite films is Arth, which is also a Hindi film.
Okay.
Then one of my other favorite films would have to be what is that Tom Cruise? Top Gun.
Okay.
I like it. It's like these are films I've grown up watching. But I'll tell you, in the last 5 years, I think I would quantify my favorite films. So it'll probably be Monster.
The DreamWorks animation film?
No, the Charlize Theron film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then, God, that's a very tough question. What are your favorite films?
Is it that tough?
Yes, it's very tough. Because there's so many of them.
Well, how do you designate your favorite film? Do you designate it something that you enjoy the performance of the actor, or do you designate it as the one that made you feel the most?
Both.
It's interesting, right? There's a dichotomy
there's a
between
clear
the
distinction.
two. Exactly.
Yeah, it has to be either was I entertained the most with which film, or did I like the performances so much? It had its bits which I loved so much. Then even if I didn't like the whole film, it didn't matter because those bits were amazing.
Yeah, and you could rewatch that movie just for those exact bits. Yeah.
I like Notting Hill.
Okay.
Then
Kingsman?
no, I haven't seen Schindler's List.
Schindler's List, okay.
Yeah, I like that.
It's very
The Boy in
impactful.
Striped Pajamas. Oh, it was so sad, but I liked it.
So you like more emotional.
I like both, like I said. If
Sure.
I can like Schindler's List, I could also like what did I say?
What was the actor called for Schindler's List?
Liam Neeson.
Isn't that a weird career choice? He went from his like early 40s, 30s doing Schindler's List and then turning into like a action star towards the end of his career with Taken.
But Taken was not really an action. It was more like what was that Leonardo DiCaprio film with multi-dimensional
What? Inception. Yeah.
So Taken was not really serious action. It was more layers of drama and action. Like I would call Avengers action.
Okay.
So I liked. I think it shows the capability of him as an actor. And as an actor, you can't really say no to certain offers because, I've already done something like Schindler's List. I can't do anything fun anymore.
I like that attitude.
Yeah. You can't be like that, no? You have to be open to new scripts.
Do you not feel like as an actor, like you've got your set of skills, right? And it could be comedy, drama pieces, horror, whatever. And just lean into that aspect to it. Like Robin Williams, for example, the best movies he did were when it was a comedic role. He did one or two where he was like a criminal or
But Good Will Hunting.
Good Will
was not
Hunting.
Really comedy.
That's true. That was more
Only
drama.
that one scene was comedy.
Yeah, but not a lot of people talk about Good Will Hunting, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you even know it.
No, it is a good film.
It's an
What
interesting
are your
film.
favorite films? I really want to know now. Because every film I'm mentioning, you're like, really? Are you serious?
Which one where he plays like Captain My Captain and all the students are standing on the desk?
Dead Poets Society.
Dead Poets Society, that was another drama piece of his.
Yeah, but it's... No.
No?
I'm not really fond of that film.
Okay.
It's a bit too much.
He did Blubber.
Oh, I loved Blubber.
See?
Blubber or was it Flubber? Blubber.
I think it was either Flubber or Blubber, but that was.
But I enjoyed it.
Really
It was
good film.
a fun film. It was like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah. Then he did another one, then he did Peter Pan,
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire that everyone remembers.
Yeah.
And then that was it. His career kind of like dissipated after that. He did Aladdin. That was arguably one of his.
Which one?
Aladdin.
Aladdin, yeah.
The genie.
Huh. I don't remember that.
Yeah. It was arguably one of his greatest roles. And
Really?
He had so much fighting with Disney. It's amazing. The whole backstory of that is amazing.
Which one was it? Who was playing Aladdin?
So he wasn't playing Aladdin. He was playing the genie,
Who was playing
in the
Aladdin?
movie. I don't remember who. Can you type it in, Dan? Find it out.
Yeah, I'm going to watch this film.
It's an animation, yeah.
Oh, it's an animation. Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
came out in the 90s.
Of course. I remember that.
Yeah. So the story goes that Aladdin, that Robin Williams was willing to take a pay cut, but they were not allowed to use his his name and voice for marketing commercials. Disney said, "Fuck that." They used his voice for like McDonald's toys. He was only supposed to have. He said in his contract that only from the poster 25% of it could be involving Robin Williams. So they made the whole background blue, and then have the genie in blue. So it would take up 85% of the poster.
Smart.
Right? And so they gave him $100K, and at the time he was charging millions per movie, right?
They gave him only 100K for that film.
For that film, because he did it for his kids. That's what he said. He didn't do it for
But
the
he could
money.
also do it for the money.
He didn't do it for the money. So he was really pissed off with Disney, and Disney then tried to amend things. And he famously said the reason why Mickey has 3 fingers is because he can't pick up a check.
Right back at you, Disney.
How amazing is that?
Oh, God, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
And in order to bury the hatchet, Disney gave him a $25 million Picasso painting. That's how.
I thought you're just going to stop at $25 million.
No, it had to be a Picasso painting because of tax reasons.
Yeah. I don't know if that would have made him happy, and that made up for it.
Well, he decided to keep working with them after that. So
What did he do after that with them?
he did a robot movie.
Was that also an animation?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he did another one, which I don't remember anymore from Disney. Oh, he did Aladdin 3, which was a directed DVD film.
I'm not aware of Aladdin 3.
See? There's 2 and there's 3.
You watch a lot of Disney films.
It's not that I grew up in the 90s. Of course I was exposed to it. We can talk
Fair
about
enough.
Die Hard as well, or Braveheart
I
too.
love Die Hard.
Really? Bruce Willis?
I really loved him in The Fifth Element also.
That was a good film.
That was a really good film, and I don't know why people don't give it more credit.
That's
It's not
true.
a very celebrated film, but it was way ahead of its time.
Didn't he also play Taxi? Or was that a different actor?
No, Taxi was... yeah.
Really? Isn't Robin De Niro the one who... didn't he say something about like Hollywood, like superhero movies?
That was Martin Scorsese.
Oh, that was Martin
did he say?
Scorsese.
He says Marvel is a real cinema.
Marvel is a...
Marvel isn't real cinema.
It's not.
It's a theater park, and to watch... Yeah, it's an adventure park.
It is. I completely agree with him. I feel like if you are making something important, so when we did the so we went all over the world with our film Angry Indian Goddesses, and we were in
I was about to ask you about that.
yes,
Yeah.
So we were in Melbourne for the IFLA Film Festival, which was the International Film Festival of Melbourne, of Australia, and. There was something very interesting said by one of the actors who said that, you have so much power as an actor, as a creator, as a director, that you have this screen space. You could put anything on it to make people believe, not believe, influence them, affect them. And then you end up putting something like some animated rubbish, which is probably going to be, you look at it and you forget about it. But with that screen, with that piece of cinema, you could affect the world, you could influence society, because art in its entirety does influence society. Over the years, like I was having a conversation with a theatre workshop person, he takes workshops. And he said something very interesting. I said that, does art really matter? Like what all we are doing here at the workshop and creating plays, does it really matter? It's like, of course. you put up a play, people come and watch it. It'll turn into something bigger. And a revolution only comes about with art. Because art being a very small speck in our world, it penetrates thoughts.
So do you believe that art imitates life or life imitates art then?
I think both.
Okay. What a safe answer.
It is. It really is. But I do feel like if you want to make a change, art is also a medium that could be explored. A lot of people don't do that. Somebody like again, I'm saying Marvel, they will never take me in a film. But I'm saying that you could do so much with art, and people don't take it seriously. It's purely meant for entertainment now, where it could be so much more.
I agree with where you're coming from, but when I think of like, I mean, it depends on what kind of art you're talking about, right? If you're talking about like art in the painting sense, you have new classicism, contemporary, block cubism, postmodernism. My ex did her doctorate in contemporary arts. That's why I know a little about the subject. But so I always thought of art as a portrayal of the zeitgeist. Like what people are going through at the moment, difficulties and stuff like that, they put that on a canvas, on a video, on songs, rather than that they somehow make a song and that then changes the world. You kind of get what I mean? It feels like a yin yang.
I think with the performing arts is a little different.
Okay.
With performing arts, whether it's on stage or it's on film or for any moving medium, paintings in itself or sculptures, that's stationary art. With performing arts, because there is so much prospect of movement, you end up doing things that you project or something that you would want to make happen. So I think what you're saying is correct, but it's not applied to performing arts.
Sure. You'd see that as a separate animal.
I do. Because even when you're doing performing art, if you're taking up a issue that is relevant to society, in turn, it also extends into other areas as well. You try and make it bigger than what it is.
So how did this whole thing start for you then? So you woke up when you were 5 or 6 and you said, hey, you know what? I want to go into theater? Or did this happen over time? You went to school, you were exposed to different friends, and they were like, oh, you know what? I can do this. How did that whole thing happen for you?
I've always enjoyed being on stage.
Sure.
I am a very people person in the sense that, which is why I have my aversion to social media at some level, because I feel like you don't get to meet people. It actually prevents you from meeting people.
I would take the flip side of that.
Really? How?
Because the people on social media, especially when you hit level of like Joe Rogan or Tom Cruise or any of those kind of people, they feel like they're your friend because they know everything about you.
But they're not.
But you don't have that connection with them. Do you know what I mean? It's a one-sided relationship.
Of course.
And so it's this really weird like thing where you meet somebody and they can like say like, oh, your mom said this and because you talked about it on an interview or a show or whatever, right?
That's kind of creepy.
It's weird. It's weird. And people are like so invested in you. And I don't remember who said this, but I was listening to a podcast about this guy, and he said that he was walking down and he was giving autographs to his fans and whatever else. He's a comedian. The Machine. He said he was going down this comedy theater and he was going out giving autographs, and one of the guys there stopped and said, listen, I'm your biggest fan. And the guy was like, okay, sure. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. And the guy stopped him. He's like, no. I'm your biggest fan because when I don't have a lot of things going on in my life, but I tell my friends about how great you are. And when you succeed, I feel like I succeed. Right?
I mean, is he giving justifications for not doing much in his life?
I don't know what that is. And I mean, he took it, The Machine, he talks about it saying like it was really emotional that somebody has like that kind of a relationship with you.
Okay.
So he just said like, oh, you know what? He just left feeling very appreciated.
Yeah, but then what about that guy who's saying, I don't have much going on in my life and I completely rely on you to make my life fun and meaningful? But then that's so wrong. You can't really rely on anybody else. So
Don't you think like most people are like that though?
But they shouldn't be. And the screen is just popularizing that idea.
Do you not feel that I mean, you know it as much from your circle of friends and your circle of community, because I know it from mine. There's so many people who talk about it but don't do it.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. You are your biggest enemy when it comes to being successful. You are stopping yourself. Everybody has the capability. It's not like some people are born talented and some are not. They just nurture the qualities that they have to turn it into a talent.
I'm with you 100%, but there's a bunch of people who just wake up and you go, you know, oh shit, I'm alive again. I'm gonna go do my 9 to 5, eat my food, and then go to dinner and hope I wake up or don't tomorrow. There's a lot of people who live that life.
They do. But in a sense, you know, I agree with you on this level that maybe those same people probably look at the phone and see all these celebrities living the life they're living and they feel more connected to the outside world in the sense that, okay, I'm also living that life through them because I'm watching every move that they do. But I feel like relying on something like this entirely to make your life interesting is wrong.
I listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm with you on this.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100% on this. I just feel like there's plenty of people who just I don't know if they don't have the ability to take control of their own life.
I completely agree with you on that. It's like I said, like you are stopping yourself.
Do you have any kind of weird fan events already happening? We can cut this part out if you don't want to say it. But I'm just interested.
Not yet. Not really a weird. Like everybody has been really sweet. Like people send stuff over, and
Hey, we gave you flowers. I hope you like them.
I mean that's different. But then unknown people sending things over, and nobody's really turned up at strange places till now. But yes, there is an on and off of maybe somebody. So in India, it's a different thing, huh? In India, it's like there's no concept of personal space.
Really?
If you look at our public transport, also it's really out there.
Okay.
So either you've got like certain instance when you don't have bodyguards around you or something. So some people come too close and then they want to click pictures and then start. Can I get a hug and all? They don't even ask, and it gets a little uncomfortable. But nothing scary per se. It's not happened with me, thank God.
I mean, you grew up in Delhi, so I'm surprised no one
in Delhi. So when I was growing up in college, I used the public transport because my father made sure that we were rough and tough, and we had a car at home, but we still had to take the bus.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's like, you got to learn how to do your own shit.
Okay.
And I remember. Taking the bus like that so that no funny business was happening, and I have slapped to here and punched and elbowed. That was like a regular thing for 2 years.
Okay. Because I've been to India and I've taken public buses and I've seen how those bus drivers look at the girls coming into the.
Oh my God! And that still happens. Yeah, I don't know when it's gonna change.
I mean, I was not even involved. I was a third party, and my hair
Really?
went
Oh
up.
God!
It looked like a wolf staring at a lamb. It was unbelievable.
It's really, I don't know what the problem is. Indian men don't know what to do with their sexuality. They don't know what to do about it. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm talking about Indian men in India.
That's right. He doesn't have a girlfriend. That's why you're talking, I think, too close to home.
Indian men in India. On the roads especially, they really don't know what to do with their sexuality. They have these feelings, but then because it's such a taboo in our culture, although we are the land of Kama Sutra, but it's such a taboo of talking about sex openly and about fantasies and what, I don't know. It's such a big issue that it just gets bottled up and they really don't know what to do about it. There is just a basic lack of respect for women, especially in Delhi, I feel, because I'm a Delhi girl. So I don't know when it's going to change. I don't even think anything is being done to change it.
Do you think that it can even be changed? Let me lean on this, because even in the West, prior to 40, 50 years ago, men and women were separated. throughout career, life, everything, right? It's only the last 40 years that men and women have ever worked in the workplace at the same time. That only happened because of the Second World War and women hygiene products. Before that, it was just not an option.
But what brought about that change?
Women hygiene products.
Women hygiene products. How?
Well, because they were able to use a tampon or whatever that other thing is called.
Yeah.
Shows you how knowledgeable I am.
Huh.
But
You do have a sister, right?
you know, she's 12. I mean,
Oh, yeah, very young.
but yeah. So no, what's it called? Tampon? Whatever.
Sanitary pad.
Whatever. Yeah. Before that, women weren't able to physically be in a workplace because they didn't have. That's one of the leading reasons they give.
Maybe they give that reason, but I feel like it's because of the Industrial Revolution and also because...
That happened in the 18th century.
No, I mean that eventually with the expansion of industrialization post-independence, especially in America I'm talking about, because the job opportunities opened for women as well. And because the women started stepping out of the house as well, because they had the job opportunities and people were hiring women, I think the dynamics changed.
But that only happened because of the Second World War as well. Because they needed the extra staff.
Yes.
Because men were out fighting.
Right. So I think that is what the real reason is. It's not the...
You don't think it's women hygiene products?
Not at all.
I think that with even if they didn't have, I mean, you can't have staff 3 days a week, 3 weeks in a month, right? You can't have a full 7 days people missing or 10 days depending on a woman's cycle, right? So I don't know.
But then if you're hard of staff and you have all the men going out, and actually that has made me think, I don't think that's true, because even with cloth products, it would still do the job. It wasn't like... I don't think. I'll have to do some research on that.
Well, me and you will have to do some research on it because I just took it as fact.
Really? I don't think so. Now I think there's a change in India, and I attribute it to completely because the women are out of the house now. A lot of women are working. There are nuclear families where both the man and the wife are working. So I think there is a change now where there's a certain creeping of respect for women because they are going out of the house, earning as well. So
do you think that's a good or a bad thing?
That's a great thing.
You think so?
That's a great thing. But the divorce rates have increased.
I mean, not just the divorce rates. I'm worried about the children. Because you need to have at least... I mean, what's the point of having a kid if both parents are out working?
See, they say, studies show that in a day, even if you spend like 25 minutes of quality time with a child, sans any screens, sans any distractions, that's more than enough for the global development of the child.
I'm not a parent, so I'll take your word for it.
So, what's the point of being with a child when you're on your phone, on your screen, talking to people?
Sure, I agree with that.
That's really not... And I feel like with so much exposure, Indian women also want to go out and fend for themselves and be independent. And if you restrict a woman of today at home, she will only end up trying to find other means of entertaining herself, probably on the screen or other ways of going out. It's not necessary that if she's home, she is 100% taking care of the child or
That's
giving
fair.
that attention.
Fair.
On the other end, she could be going out for like 3-4 hours just to do her own thing, working on a constant basis every day, coming back home a little happier, because a happy mother makes a happy child.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that.
So I feel like people have recognized emotional independence also.
Emotional independence?
Yes. Women in India have recognized emotional independence. They don't need to rely on a husband or a father or on any other individual just to be happy. They could just be content with themselves. I feel it's because it's a highly patriarchal society still. But like I said, because women are stepping out and fending for themselves and becoming independent, they realize that their self-worth a bit. Mm-hmm. And that makes them better mothers.
I will play the devil's advocate again,
but
just because this makes great content.
All right.
I would bring up a few things. Number one, it takes the old adage, it takes a village to raise a child, right? I think you need to have grandparents, mom, dad, whatever, friends, family, neighbors, uncles and nieces and aunts, whatever. And I think that's very important for the development of a child. And I think that the reason why so many kids have this high suicide rates, the anxieties, and these mental conditions and issues that are popping up from bipolarism all to borderline personality disorder is because of the lack of community, right? And that cannot be replaced by spending an hour with the kid. That's like saying, hey, you know what? I sit down in an office 8 hours and I'm going to go work out for an hour. That 1 hour is not going to fix the 8 hours of sitting down.
All right. I hear you.
That's one segment of it. And the second segment is that we for whatever reason, the dialogue that we have when we talk about men and women's relationship in society is always from a perspective of oppression, which I don't agree with. Because when you look at it from an historical perspective, the head of the household weren't men, were women. They were in charge of the budgeting. They were in charge of the money. Now you can say, oh, well, women were just sitting at home cooking and doing everything else. That, again, isn't true, because who was doing the networking? It was the women, right? They were going to the events. They were hanging out with their friends. They were ensuring that their husbands were connecting with the other husbands and to push their financial income. It's always been a tying force between the two. Of course, that doesn't mean that every relationship has to be this way. Doesn't mean that every woman has to be this or every guy has to be that. But from an evolutionary biology, that what seems to be an indicator from history. And that's what so far I've read. By the way, I have an undergrad, in business, not in biology or sociology, only at A-level.
No, but that's all right. I feel like you might just have. Because I understand what you're saying. But like you said, it's very subjective also.
Totally agree.
It's also how one prioritizes. But I have noticed that you have to be along with what's going on around you. And right now in India, what's going on is there are a lot of nuclear families. Women are out there working. That's the reality. So when one compares to what's going on around them, one tends to undermine themselves and be unhappy hence.
Sure.
So an unhappy parent is not a good parent.
Sure.
So I, being a parent myself, I have an 8-year-old daughter. And
how's that working out for you?
It's great. Like
Yeah?
I live so we are a family of 9.
Okay.
We live in one house.
Oh, wow.
And so she's always with family. She's always around family. And because I travel, it gives her time to connect with the rest of her family, because otherwise I'm with her the whole time. So in a way, I appreciate these breaks when I go to work, because then she understands the worth of family and understands that although people are really moving on to being on their own the whole time, they don't realize the worth of a family. This is the time when she relies completely on them, because I'm not there. What can she do?
And you don't have to hear mom.
Yeah, she has to go hang out with her grandparents. She has to go hang out with her uncle and aunt because I'm not there. So she connects with them. She goes out with them. They take them for a movie. They take her for a play date. So, it works out. But that's me. Like I said, it's subjective. I'm fortunate like that. Not many people are. There are nuclear families, especially in Delhi, the outskirts of Delhi, like Gurgaon, where you have all these MNCs, the headquarters. And you've got nuclear families where both the parents are working and the child is probably at a daycare. Now, that's not an ideal situation for a child. I do understand that. But, children they get accustomed to the situation very soon. But that doesn't mean it affects them emotionally necessarily. If that's what they know, what it is, they've grown up like that, then they don't have a frame of reference. They would not feel like, I'm missing out on something. It's how you grow up. If they have grown up with the fact that, my mom's working, my dad's working, I'll get to meet them in the evening, I'll have dinner with them, that's family time. They appreciate that family time. They grow up to maybe instill that same family time in their kids. Nothing wrong with that. And can I just tell you that there are a lot of children who are suffering with the same issues, suicidal tendencies, mental issues, not necessarily come from broken families. No. A lot of them are also from maybe abusive parents, or parents themselves are suffering from some mental illnesses. It's not necessarily from broken families or from lack of attention.
No, I agree. It's culture versus nurture versus community.
Yes.
Right? And I think that you can have a really, really dedicated and great family unit. You can have a very healthy child. But I think if you're stuck in a community that is very unhealthy, like the Bronx, for example, then, it's going to be tough to combat that.
Yeah, of course.
Right? And my friend, he recently said this to me, just passing. He said, I realize I need to pay attention to who I hang out with when I was in my early teens. And I said, why are you bringing this up now?
Really?
And he said to me, listen, I was out with a friend. He was picking up some drugs. I was sitting in the car, drinking a beer, whatever. And then the guy pulled out a knife and put it in the guy's throat and robbed him then and there. And then they got out of the car.
His friend or somebody else?
His friend, yeah.
Oh.
So he wanted to go and buy drugs. He got into the dealer's car, took out a knife, put it in the guy's throat, and said, "Give me your drugs and your cash," and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So he got the cash, got the money, blah blah blah, drugs, walked out. And he said he was walking home, and that dealer, some of his gang, then came and then beat the hell out of both of them. And then that's when it clicked. He said, even if you don't do something bad, when you hang out with people that do something bad, you're associated, and you get punished by association. And so that's what stopped him then
Completely.
to get into
I
the life.
also feel that, it's very region specific also. A child growing up in America is very different from a child growing up in India.
Of course.
A nuclear family here in Bahrain is very different from a nuclear family in Delhi.
Of course.
It's really, like you said, it's where you are, who you hang out with, and it's different everywhere.
But I would add to it, because I think the idea of how important community is, and I mean, I'm not religious, but the aspect of having a strong foundation from both religious, sociology, from spirituality, and all that kind of aspect, I think is a good way of keeping people with good morals. Because if you look at what's happening at the moment in America, it's insane.
It's insane.
Right? I mean,
Really.
I mean, I don't know how it was for you, but when I grew up in the 90s, all I could dream about was America.
Yeah.
It's all that's where everything is.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember, my dad is a lot darker than I am, and I remember sitting in the shade in our garden, looking at my dad and going like, "Oh God, I don't want to be as dark as him, because all the heroes are white."
Yeah.
Right? And only when I was much older in my 20s did I realize that implication that had in my thinking. So I avoided the sun until I was almost in my 20s.
God, really?
Yeah.
So that really brings me to evolution of the mind as well.
Isn't that interesting?
As a child, you would think that. Similarly, a child who's probably not seeing his parents for a long time in a day would think that I'm neglected. But when he himself grows older and is not able to give the same amount of time to his child, or maybe seeing that, okay, I'm independent because maybe my parents also let me be. It's an evolution of thinking. We would actually appreciate it that my parents did spend about 2 hours in a day with me, and that's what really mattered. So I
agree.
I completely agree with that. And it's a community thing, it's a religion thing, it's a sociology thing. It's really all of that.
Well, do you see yourself staying in India, or would you like to move anywhere else if given the option? Say, imagine you could have a career as an actress in France, in America. Would that be an indicator for you to move?
To move, maybe not, but yes, for a while. But my roots, I would want them to be in India. I'd probably eventually come back to India.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yes, I would probably move there for a year or so for the project with my daughter maybe, but I'll probably come back.
So if you get a phone call today from the Shakespeare Theatre Company saying, "Hey, we want you to play on a permanent basis Macbeth," you'd be like, "You know what?
Jump at the idea."
There we go.
No, like I said, I would move. I would move for a year or two, but I know myself, eventually I'll probably come back. And if I do move, I'll probably move to a beachy place.
Yeah, you're looking at Dubai and Bahrain now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm looking more like Brazil.
Really?
Yeah, I'm looking at more like a complete, like Bali.
I was about to say Bali, but isn't there a ton of Russians there?
Yeah, but then you could always move to a certain section which doesn't have Russians. Like in Goa. There's so many Russians, but there's certain sections who don't have much Russians.
But aren't you like every time you go to a hotel bar, every time you go for a nice dinner, all you're hearing is da.
Is it really like that?
I mean, I went once and it was
I've never been to Bali. I would love to, but I don't know.
I've been to Goa and to Bali.
So which one's better? They're
Personally,
both places.
Personally, they were the same to me. It's gotten to the point now. I don't know if it's the same with you. All cities look the same to me.
Exactly. So I'm here in Bahrain, and I don't know. I've seen it. If it's something really exceptional, then I would go out and venture. But I feel like I'm at that age where I've probably seen like almost everything. Like for instance, I went to Dubai, and the only thing that interesting that I saw was La Perla, the musical. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and that was my highlight of the trip. So now I feel like I completely agree with you. I feel like I've seen quite a bit.
But if you go out from your hotel room, right, and you take a picture of the skyline and send it to somebody, they would not be able to be like, oh, that's America. Oh, that's
Of
like
course.
Dubai. Oh, that's somewhere
Yeah,
else.
not at all.
It's all become
The same.
The same.
The same.
Right? Architecture's become corporized. Media's
Yeah.
become corporized. Film has become almost the same kind of dialogue, 3 actors types, and you're done.
Completely, which is why I feel like the importance of community increases even more.
Sure,
Because
absolutely.
what you're looking for outside, you could build it right here around you. As actors, you get to play different characters all the time. But when you come home, then you can be yourself. Because when you step out and work, then you're completely somebody else. So as an actor, I feel like your home needs to be your haven, where you could just be yourself. And that applies to every human being. See, every human being has the capability of becoming a great actor. And acting is all about realizing yourself, knowing yourself the most. So with Angry and Goddesses, our mentor, our theatre acting mentor who was with us, he said something very interesting. He said that, to become an actor, you need to let go of your own demons first. Take on the demons of the character.
Okay.
So you get to know yourself the most, scrutinize and analyze yourself the most, and then you could actually get into the skin of the character better.
But what's the actor then? What's the director called who did Birds?
Birds.
Yeah, film came out in the 1930s, 40s.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock. Do you not believe his sentiments? What he called actors?
Yeah, what
Lambs to the slaughter.
See, people like Alfred Hitchcock, Stanley Kubrick, they
Well, Stanley was a little different. I mean, he tortured people because he wanted to get a certain emotion out.
out of them. So did Alfred Hitchcock with the whole Birds thing. It was real, yeah.
Yeah.
It was everything they were going through was real. So they do that. See, now these are extreme creators.
Sure.
They believe in the truth of the emotions so much more than their own truth.
But don't you feel like the ROI on that is so high? From a risk perspective, because you as an actress, right, signing up to Alfred Hitchcock, or Stanley Kubrick, you're in for hell.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're signing up to this, you know that it's going to be harsh.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you don't know if that film is going to be a success. He's also done a few that haven't been, Clockwork Orange, hasn't been...
Clockwork Orange is a cult film.
Yes, but I'm saying he's also done films that we don't talk about.
Yeah.
Right? He's done 9 movies in total, and I can only think of 3. Full Metal Jacket, Space Odyssey, Clockwork Orange, and...
He did recently...
He's dead a long time ago
No,
now.
but his last film was... which one was his last film?
No, Full Metal Jacket was his last film.
Oh, was it? Achha,
I think so.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What was his other films?
Yeah, exactly. Imagine you're the actress to one of those movies. You got
Bollywood
tortured for 2 years.
Listen, I know quite a bit for a Bollywood actor. Now, Bollywood actors wouldn't even know this. So I give myself credit. But yeah.
Are you do you want to be also a producer, a writer, a director, or do you want to be like, hey, I want to be the best actress I can fucking be?
No, I eventually want to become a director. I think there's a dearth of female directors in Bollywood. I would really want that. Not even Bollywood, let's not even call it Bollywood, Indian film industry. I would really want to be a director and get that perspective. So we've got fabulous actresses who are now amazing directors. We've got Nandita Sen, we've got Tilotma Shom. All these people are now great directors. So I feel like, yeah, it's getting there.
So this is something you would want to do.
I would love to do it. But I would also want to write. I would probably direct my own story.
Oh my God. You're going to do the Holy Trinity?
I mean, I'm trying to. Let's see. But I'm not even halfway there with acting.
Okay. I mean, you can do you can do all three?
No, right now I'm like, I'm at that point where I'm just spreading my wings. So I haven't even taken flight right now.
Well, have you started writing or not yet?
I do write on
Okay.
and off, but nothing serious. They're mostly like snippets.
Okay.
But I haven't written a story.
Well, I'd love to read them. I love reading.
Actually,
Send it over to WhatsApp or whatever.
Yeah.
So we were saying, I was getting into a little bit. You're doing a little bit of writing, and you're doing story pieces.
I haven't written a story as yet. I'm not working towards it. It's mostly about my state of mind in a certain situation.
Okay.
That's all I do.
So like a memoir.
Like a memoir.
Send it over. I love reading it. I love reading unpublished manuscripts. I read like 4 to 5 books a week.
But mine are like 4-5 paragraphs of different instances.
We had a girl recently on who's 14 years old. No, sorry, she's 18 now, but she wrote her first book at 14.
Wow.
It's like poetry, and then she wrote another one at 16. So
That's amazing.
there you go.
Like, which one is it?
It's called Bullets for a Bully. Words for Bullets. That's the one. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that, see, like I said, everybody can be an actor, everybody can be a writer. It's really about your creative output, how important it is for you. I feel like nobody really wants to be stuck in a 9-to-5 drill.
The way you say that, I know a few people who are like that.
Who like that?
Who are like, my favorite color is gray. I'm like, Jesus.
There's nothing wrong with gray.
Well, not like normal gray. We're talking office gray.
Yeah, but if they were given an opportunity to probably, I don't know, do a musical on stage, they wouldn't.
Definitely not.
Go watch it.
Well, would your dad want to go on a musical on stage?
I think my dad would be fab on stage, but he doesn't know it.
There we go. So the answer is definitely doesn't want to.
Yeah, he doesn't know it. He thinks but I come from a very strict family. Like I've become it's a very conservative, typical Indian conservative family. So my dad is still in denial that I'm an actor.
Okay.
Then he doesn't watch any of my work.
Okay.
He says that this is not really a profession. It's
Really?
Yeah. It's like, so I belong to a certain very conservative household. He doesn't understand this profession. He understands being a doctor, being an engineer, being a techie, but he doesn't get it. He doesn't get this. And like I said, that with Indian men and women are now realizing their emotional independence, that their own emotions are so important to them.
So like Imran Khan or whatever his name is, they don't like, your dad is like, fuck him? Like,
So my dad has not watched a single movie of his ever. Yeah. I don't
like
think so.
how does he go through life and not people like talk to him about it?
So he's a very community driven individual.
Ask him about Will Smith and the slap. He must have, like, somebody must have told him.
He must have seen it on the news or something.
So I would really love to hear what he has to say.
Oh God. I don't know if that's a good idea. All right, I'll pass on the request.
Think about it. Does he like, I wonder if it's just Bollywood movies, or if you talk to him, like, I don't know, who was the actor for James Bond, Dan? No, the old one.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Yeah.
If you had talked to him about Sean Connery, would that like click?
No, I don't think he's a film guy. Like his mode of entertainment will probably be just sitting. His mode of entertainment would be doing the card game on his laptop. That's what he loves doing. What is that card game? Solitaire. That's his Sunday.
Oh, what a man. What a man.
And he's so chill about it. He's so happy in that space. I'm like, I admire you. I admire you to be satisfied with what you have, which is, like I said, that you should be happy with what you have, and your desires and wants should be so minimal so that if you get more, you're pleasantly surprised.
I had this exact similar conversation with my dad, and I said to him, listen, as you get older, do you not have like regrets that's just gnawing on you every day, like stuff that, stuff you said or did or something like that? He just looked at me and said, you know what, with age, your memory goes. I can't even remember half of it anymore.
That is fine.
Isn't that like a very healthy way of dealing with
It's
that?
great. So I follow Sadhguru quite a bit. I don't know
Okay.
if you know him.
I will pretend like I do.
Okay. So he is a motivational speaker and he is a Bhakt of Shiva and he's a really interesting orator. So he says that stop taking yourself so seriously all the time and stop saying that the mind should stop thinking certain things. Let the mind be. Let the mind do whatever it wants to do. You control your body. If the mind is telling you to sit somewhere and sit there, you don't need to listen to the mind. Just go up and do whatever you want to do.
Angels fly because they take themselves so lightly.
Yes, exactly. So that's what he says, and I really believe it. Sometimes just don't listen to the mind. Don't try and control it because it's more powerful than you are. So let's just disconnect from yourself.
How do you feel when you get when you're meeting new or young actresses or actors coming into the industry, talking to you about it, and you can see in their eyes just that burning passion of, I just want to make it. How do you just, how does that emotion from reflection, because you obviously went through that journey at one point, and now seeing people go through that journey, do you just want to shake them and be like, hey, it isn't what you think it is?
No, I empathize with them a little bit, and I just want to tell them that hang in there. It's sometimes doesn't come as easy. It takes a little time. It takes dedication. It takes a lot of effort. Very few people who are lucky who immediately just get that break. But then to sustain it also is a big challenge. So every actor has challenges. So I don't want to shake them or anything. I just want them to be happy in the space that they are, because that's also important to realize. That when you're down and you're not getting the kind of stuff you want to do, it's all right.
See, this is where we're opposites on this, because when I have people come in, especially from the world of investment and stuff like that, and they're like, hey, you know what, I want to be Bill Gates, I want to be Jeff Bezos, I want to be whoever. And I just take them for a second, I shake them, and I go, listen, do you really think that any of those people really want to live their life that they're living? Do you think that Bill Gates wants to go around with 50 security guards because he's fucking worried that someone's going to stab him? Do you think Jeff Bezos is happy waking up every morning wondering, is his children going to be abducted?
Exactly.
These none of those people live lives that you'd want to live.
They would not want to be in that situation, but they are now, and the saddest part is they've worked hard their whole lives to be where they are, and they don't like it. It's so sad. That's why I feel like sometimes being too ambitious also, when you don't know whether you're going to like the outcome or not. So take it easy. You have to take it easy in life with everything.
No, I agree. And I think it's so important to concentrate on the journey rather than the end goal.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just going to burn yourself out. And by the time you reach whatever you've gotten, you're going to be like,
exactly.
It wasn't worth it.
It really wasn't. Enjoy what you have right now. Right now, I'm in Bahrain. I'm here for this event. These people have been really sweet. This social media awards that I'm doing, and I wanted to say Seige Events is doing it, so please.
Yeah, follow them and like them.
Do follow them. Seige Events. Hina from Seige Events is absolutely incredible.
We'll do a story. There we go.
Yes, that would be nice.
There we go.
So I'm enjoying myself. I'm not thinking about, oh my God, what am I going to do next? And oh my God, this is not what I want to do, or this is great. I'm thinking I'm having fun. I am enjoying being in this space. And let's just enjoy it this very second. And let's not think about the next hour.
Now I'm going to have to ask you a serious question. We can cut this out and if you don't like it, talking about it. But did you not have in Bollywood people like Harvey Weinstein? Was that not an aspect to it? Because I will not believe that Tom Cruise became Tom Cruise without having to suck dick. I will not believe that. I will not believe that. I don't care how tough the guys look. They did not manage to go through it without having somebody like Harvey there.
Yeah.
Do you find that same exists as a reflection in Bollywood or not really?
Absolutely.
Really?
A lot. Absolutely. The casting couch in the Indian film industry is very real. But, and of course, with the whole Me Too movement, there were a couple of directors who got into a lot of trouble. And, but then again, they're still making movies.
Exactly.
Yeah. It really didn't do much. What it really did was the women who did speak up their mind, they were probably the outcasts at the end of the day because they spoke about it. So,
that's it with your career. That's why the Me Too movement, if you've ever looked at the girls, they're all plus 40. Because
Yeah.
they know they're not going to get another job.
Exactly.
That train is silent.
So I also like I may sound I don't know, I'm a feminist. Like I believe in equal rights. I'm not really a feminist really, but I believe in equal rights, but I do feel like when you're being approached like that, the woman's instinct in you knows. Women are a far superior race. That's the truth I believe in. Because women, whether working or not working, are taking care of the children, taking care of the house.
I think they're definitely more devious. I will agree with that.
Definitely. They can multitask. And so there was a very interesting thing that somebody said recently. They said that women sometimes forget that men are...
Let's hear it.
sounds so bad. That men are not as smart as us. They forget
Okay.
about it.
Okay.
They know, but they forget. And then they indulge into the conversation.
Interesting.
I mean, it's just something that I heard, okay?
Okay.
But I found it...
Also,
really-
totally believe it.
I mean, I don't want to say. So, but I mean that woman's instinct is very strong. You know that you are in that space where you might be taken advantage of, and you are making yourself available to that space. So if I suppose get a message or my manager sends me a message, somebody sent her something, and then
Meet me in a hotel or drinks or
yeah,
something
and
like that.
you know, meet me here, and then we can talk about it. I know what that is. So why put myself there just for a role?
But I mean, you're also in a different stage in your career now.
Yeah,
You're not anymore, blue-eyed,
but even when I
18-year-old.
was, you think I didn't have the opportunity?
No, I'm not saying that you personally, but I'm saying not you. I'm saying there's plenty of girls who are, or guys as well,
Yeah.
who just are so desperate for that break, they will do whatever is necessary to get that. And that's the heartbreaking thing.
That's heartbreaking. Don't be so desperate.
It's easier said than done, though, no?
Desperation will not get you that work.
No, I agree.
Hard work will, and patience will.
But don't you feel like this is a problem with I mean, this is, again, youth is wasted on the young because people are so desperate to get
Yes.
Now,
They
now,
want it
now.
now and quick. And it doesn't work like that. You may get it, but then to sustain it is even harder. And you may not even get it, or you might get something that you did not want. So I think that, I don't know, I've recently had an epiphany where I feel like I just need to take it easy, and so do people. And in having a happier life is the most important thing. Not probably having maybe a most successful or most... Having a happy life is more important. You should be happy with what you have. And it's working out. So I believe in manifestations. If you put it out there, it might just happen. So I just want to be...
I like that idea.
Put it out there. Want to be happy? Put it out there.
By the way, to add to intelligence part, my ex used to say to me, the man is the head, the woman is the neck. She points at where the head is supposed to look.
Completely believe that. I do completely.
I love that.
Because I do feel like men are the emotional sex. They do connect with their women way more than the women connect to the men.
Ooh, interesting.
Because a woman has to divide herself among so many people. There's the children, there are the in-laws, there are the parents. So she, of course, she nurtures, she cares, she loves. But she does understand that there are multiple avenues where she has to give the same kind of responsibilities and the same kind of care.
But what would you, I mean, I would imagine for every woman, what would they want from a guy? They want them to be a provider, right? You don't want a guy who's just sitting on his couch or doing nothing, right? That's number one. You want him to be the protector. You know, if you're getting like grabbed in a bus or something, you'd want your boyfriend to be like, hey, or your husband.
I disagree with both of these.